if you can answer who you help, how you help them, what you want to be known for,
Yes.
that's what you need. You don't need anything about competitors. You don't need any other fluff or zhuzh from your messaging. You need to be really clear on those, or at least kind of sort of mostly clear and willing to talk it out with someone
Mm.
to get to the heart of what that is.
Welcome to Wild and Finally Fucking Free, the show for disruptors, rebels, and revolutionaries who know they're here to change the damn world. I'm Kylie Patchett, your voice and visibility catalyst, and here we dive into unapologetic truth, magnetic messaging, and visibility that actually feels good in your body, your bones, and your business. We share the stories of the out-of-the-box, neuro-sparkly, creative, witchy wild ones, rewriting how we live, love, learn, and lead. This isn't about being louder. It's about being rooted, resonant, and regulated so you can be real, raw, and ready to roar. If you're done contorting yourself to fit the mold and you're ready to own your voice, your power, and your place in the revolution, welcome home. Let's dive in.
Again, going back to what you said kind of at the beginning of this, which is if you're not using some of those words that other people are using, you're missing out on an opportunity to help them. They're missing out on someone who really gets and understands them and has a whole program, process, everything built out that's like ready for them and available for them, but they can't get to you if they don't have the right words that they're typing in that you have on your page, because the cute little robots don't understand very much other than just like what's right there.
That's
Yeah.
very true. That is very true.
Yeah. I did want to mention something too, because you
Yeah.
were talking about how you've gone and refined it even as you're moving platforms. Something that so many entrepreneurs get tripped up about is like, oh, I have to have everything ready before I go do SEO. No, go back to those 3 questions. If you can answer who you help, how you help them, what you want to be known for,
Yes.
that's what you need. You don't need anything about competitors. You don't need any other fluff or zhuzh from your messaging. You need to be really clear on those, or at least kind of sort of mostly clear and willing to talk it out with someone to get to the heart of what that is.
Yes.
That's all you need, because that's what's going to reveal the keywords. That's going to help you with so many people. I think half the people in the last round of my SEO program rewrote their website copy because they got so inspired in the program. And they were like,
Yes.
I can do this so much better. And I'm like, okay, cool. Let's go for
Yeah,
it.
great.
They rewrote their entire website while they
Yeah,
were with
yeah.
me because they finally got that clarity. And they were like, oh, this can be so much better. Let's do this better.
Yes. Yeah. And yeah, it's the clarification. I just always think like if there's muddy water in our own kind of field about who we are and who we serve and what we do, then we're just amplifying that with any marketing that we're doing. So it's like come back down to the foundation, get clear on those things, and then amplify from there. And I think I feel like it's important to say two things actually in my mind. Number one, it's not a one and done. Like it's not about getting it
Yes.
perfect. It's changing and then also looking at the data and making sure that, you know, it's heading in the right direction, but also, okay, I might think that this is a really great keyword, but actually, no, that's not performing as well, but something else is. So that kind of tweaking and testing type of thing. But also the other thing is just, and you alluded to it before, like you don't have to be using, because this is the other thing I don't think that I really got. Well, I know that I didn't really get before I started working with you. For some reason in my mind, it was like figure out the SEO and the meta description. And that's pretty much for most pages. It's not, whereas now I'm like, oh no, because I do very much, very clearly strategy and energetics, and then this whole sisterhood community thing. And I was like, how do I put all of those things? But I'm like, you don't need to, because each like sales page or funnel has specific SEO that attracts the right people to it. And yes, often people go into opposite tracks and everything, but that's totally fine. I don't know why in my head I was like, it's I didn't think all the pages had to be exactly the same, but there was some disconnect with like, I have to pick out of my babies. I have to pick a favorite child, and just that's what I'm like, no, you don't. Okay, so
No. Can I speak to that for a second? And I do, if I don't come back to this, bring me back to this of where SEO is really just you're creating the strategy for the next season, for this next identity, for this next iteration. So pull me back if I don't come back here. But when you're talking about going deep on some of these individual services and individual things,
Yeah.
you get to do that on a services page. You get to do that on a blog post. So I have so many people who, just like what you're saying, they're like, okay, the homepage has to have all 5 of these. And I'm like, we don't have enough space. So what do you really want to call in? I can't choose. I've got this other thing. Okay, we could turn that into a blog post. What?
Yes.
Really? Yes. That's when you get to go deep. So every page is an opportunity. And that's, if you think of it like that, and then you realize that, oh, these blog posts or these even like product pages or service pages that I create, it's an opportunity for someone to see me and to connect
Yes.
with me. It totally changes the game. And then you want to spend more time doing this versus Instagram. Like, you want to spend your time and energy here because this stuff is going to last for months and years.
Yeah.
And actually, the way that I do it with the 3 questions that I ask people, I found that it actually works faster than other methods. I've seen people get leads, get more traffic,
Yeah.
even make sales in as little as like 2 to 4 weeks,
Yeah.
when industry average is like 3 to 6 months.
Yes.
You can, if you're clear and your energy is behind it, which is part of why I love you, if your energy's behind it and you're very clear,
Yeah.
like, the sky's the limit, boo.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like, sorry, I've just lost my train of thought. What? The train has left the station. It was something. No, it'll come back to me. Come back to seasonal SEO though. I want to hear what you have to say
Yes.
about that. So setting yourself up for the next iteration, because I think,
Mhm.
especially for neuro-sparkly people who are often like, I feel like for all of the fellow manifestors out there that are a little bit hummingbird or butterfly in a bottle about their approach to business strategy, sometimes me included, can we just talk to
Yep.
seasonal?
Yeah. So you're manifestor, I'm manifesting generator. Like, we're constantly evolving and changing and all of the things. I'm probably my own worst client because I'm like, oh, what about this? Oh, what about this? So it's okay. SEO can grow with you. I do encourage people, create your strategy, let it live and breathe for about 3 months, and then you can
Yes.
pivot and then you can do different things, because at that point, you know how to do it. You know how to find the keywords, you know how to create the SEO strategy pieces, and you know what you're looking for to know if it's working or not. So, and you just refine more and more and more, and you get so much more clear over time. You
Mhm.
know the people that you're talking to at a different stage of awareness, you know services that you're offering. Like, it's okay. You can grow. I like
Mhm.
saying that you're not married to your SEO strategy, you're dating it. Like,
Yeah.
it's okay to do that. And so, like, it gives you, like, I can change, I can evolve, I can switch things up if and when I need to. So
Yeah.
you have these, and I think this is part of one of my magical pieces, is that I get to walk people through all of these, like, death and rebirth, identity transformation. That's part of my specialness, and so I can see that and guide someone else through that much more easily than someone who's like, "No, you have to pick this and set it and forget." It just does, it's not gonna work like it's, you can. So you don't have to worry about, like, this is a label I'm slapping on things. This is a word that I'm slapping on things, and I can never ever change it. Not at all. Again,
Yeah.
I encourage you to let it breathe for 3 months, but after that, you can change things. And
Yeah.
it's all one big hypothesis that we're testing anyway.
Yeah.
We're making
Exactly.
educated guesses, but it's a hypothesis at the end of the day.
Yeah. It's very true. I just remembered my train of thought. I knew that would happen.
Yay.
I find it very interesting that the average like business coach that would be teaching like a launch strategy is very much talking about like social media as one of the key visibility strategies. It might be podcasts, it might be whatever, like affiliates, whatever that is. But I haven't heard recently, at least, anyone talking from a launch perspective about thinking about SEO. And I'm like, it's quite interesting that, and I know I'm generalizing massively, but this online business kind of thing that we find ourselves in is very much about the like the scale, the grow, the quick win, the magic pill, the one
Mm.
size fits all solution. And I'm like, I don't know, for the clients that I work with who are the disruptors, like a lot of my clients are not interested in sacrificing life to grow business or sacrificing scruples to grow business.
Mhm.
Certainly not sacrificing their sanity. Like they're the three things that I talk about. It's like you don't have to
Yeah.
change your values, you don't have to, but also like just the idea that you can do something that allows you to have some breathing space where you're not constantly thinking in that quick gain thing. Because I do think like brains like mine can definitely get very high on the dopamine, but
Mhm.
it's like I quite confronting. My first call today was going into a planning call in a membership that I'm in. And this guy was talking about, and I really admire the way that he grows his business and everything. It's one of the reasons why I'm in his membership. He's not a bro marketer, totally opposite of bro marketer. But he was talking about like the one focus per month. And I'm like,
Yeah.
trying to like not hyperventilate, right? But I'm like, this is also like I've launched 9 different products in the last year, which has been wildly exciting, also a
Yeah.
lot, and also can be quite overwhelming for your audience. But I don't want to continue like now that I have the product suite. I'm like, I'm not looking for that quick. It's like pushing to grow quickly out of balance with nature. I feel like that's what I want to say. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and social media, I don't know, I go on Facebook or like I hardly ever go on Facebook. When I do, I just feel like it's just an ad reel, like just a constant
Yeah.
bombardment. And I'm like, I don't know, like I use ads as part of my visibility strategy, but I don't really know whether I want to be exposing myself to that. And if I'm thinking that and I am generally similar to my ideal client, then
Mhm.
like, and I think another thing that I wanted to ask you too, because I think it's an important thing for people to understand the levels of awareness and levels of ready to buy on social media versus SEO. Can you talk to that? Because I think that this is
Oh
one of the
gosh,
things that
yeah.
I was like,
Wow. I think that the way I can summarize that the best is that I have a client and we were working together and
yeah,
she had this realization. She messaged me and she's like, SEO is the spot. And I was like, what do you mean? She's like, SEO is the place where people who want to buy, who want to work with some, they're going there. She's like, I'm in the DMs right now. We got a lady who's like upset about a $29 offer. And she's like, I just booked a, coaching, one-to-one coaching client for thousands of dollars from SEO.
yeah, yeah,
She's like, "Oh my gosh, SEO is where it's at, where paying people are at."
yeah.
Again, goes back to those 3 questions and you being so clear, at least in this season, in this moment, what is it
Mhm.
that you wanna call in? What is it that
Yes.
you wanna fill up?
Yeah.
What is it that feels good and nurturing to you?
Mm.
Because I think I'm gonna hop over to the other thing you were talking about, which
Yeah.
is social media and how it's like quick, 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 quick. Our nervous systems have gotten used to that. You and I, with our backgrounds in massage therapy, oh my God, we have seen people, we have experienced it, we live like that.
Yeah.
Part of why we went to things like that is because from little children, we were like, oh, this is normal and safe. No, this is normal. Hell, cool. Absolutely not. So that
Yeah.
I think so many more people, especially in the last 2 years from what I've
Mhm.
seen, people are leaving Instagram, people are closing their Facebook
Yes.
account. I closed mine. I'm done with it. I don't
Yeah.
want to be on there. It was a drain. People are making the choice to go away from that, to go to
Mhm.
things that are more sustainable, especially, I would say this again, generalization, but especially moms and women
Yes.
in general. Like we're learning so much more about like our cyclical nature
Mhm.
and we're wanting to be present in our lives and we're wanting to go walk in a forest, as
Yeah.
opposed to being stuck on our phones. So I think there is just so much more awareness about that.
Mhm.
And with that, people wanting to take the action to live the life that they really truly want to live.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
SEO is the thing that can get you there.
Yeah. It's so like yeah, like I said, that planning call was a bit confronting, but it was also one of those things where I was like, yeah, I don't want to create another year of constant creation because I
Mhm.
love creation and I could continue to do that because it makes me happy. But
Mhm.
from like sustainable business, which, I talk about all the time with clients, and I'm like, you need to be doing the same thing that you're inviting people to do, right? There's an integrity piece here. So
Mhm.
I feel like, yeah, I'm very clear on the SEO end of things just being one of the key like scaffolds of being able to be sustainable in business and not having to always be because I'm like, I don't know what the next 6 months or 12 months will bring
Yeah.
from a family situation. Like I don't know whether I'll even be, I don't know, able to, be as present as what I even have been in this season. So it's like, I don't know. You had a year also last year. Can you talk to that
Mhm.
when you just had a series? Like you had your shit.
Had a year. Really fair.
Yeah.
But I also want to say something too, because you're kind of aware that you may have a year ahead.
Yes.
All of us could have a year ahead and we don't have a
Correct.
fucking clue.
Yeah.
So none of us should really get all that comfortable with like, I love Instagram. I love it. I personally, me, I love Instagram. I will hang out over there. I joke that I live in the DMs. I
Yeah.
actually do. I'm
Yeah.
talking to Kylie
Yeah.
over there half the time. So that feels good when it feels good. But when life
Yes.
is lifing, And for you, it's been lifing. Last year for me, it was lifing. There were 6 deaths, and it was like throughout the year. So you're kind of going through this constant grief process. You have to show up for work, you have to show up for people. Then we had this really traumatic experience where we had bed bugs in an Airbnb. We had to, and this was right after my dog died, and it was one of the hardest deaths last year. So I'm in the process of grieving. I'm grateful that I have a roof over my head, and then all of a sudden I don't. And then on top of that, I'm dealing with stuff like all of the things that come with that. It sucked. And I was so grateful that I had a system in place that was allowing me to still get clients in, some from my podcast because I have SEO on my podcast, some
Yes.
from my website because I've got SEO over there. Yes, still some from referrals, but it was like all of these funnels were channeling people to me in a time where I really didn't have the capacity to show up for anyone other than myself. Barely that.
Yes.
So I've seen SEO be really supportive for that. My mom
Yes.
went through breast cancer. Like that was one of the times that I was actually learning about things and I was actually supporting clients through that. It was really cool to see how it really can just be this thing that's funneling people to you so you can just live life. I've seen people get sick, like with a cold. I've seen
Mhm.
people one of my clients got knocked out at the beginning of this year for 3 months.
Oh,
She was like, I couldn't post. I couldn't do a podcast. She's married. She has a little kid. She's like, it was take care of mom and then take care of my kid, right?
yeah.
Like
Yep.
there you're just living life and existing, and
Mhm.
it's great when you're in survival mode because SEO can be there. You've got your
Yes.
whatever kind of content. You've got possibly your social media profiles doing some marketing for you.
Yep.
You've got blog posts or podcast episodes, whether you
Mhm.
have a podcast or you're a guest, like you've got
Yes.
all of these different things and your website, of course, that are working for you to keep putting out that bat signal even when
Yes.
you can't.
So good. It's so good. As you're talking, I feel like, yeah, there's a connection forming in my brain about that, like running your business on that chaotic energy that may have been normal if you have trauma in your childhood or,
Mhm.
long-standing whatever, and changing it to actually creating a business model that supports you. And I talk a lot about this from an energetics perspective of like working with the soul of your business and understanding it's not
Mhm.
just running the show. And there is an energetic component to your business. Like she wants to support she, he, it, whatever,
Mhm.
however it turns up for you, wants to support you. But then, yeah, the scaffolding of SEO can be that like practical structure that is also supporting you. And like what happens in my body and it's kind of the same thing as when I was in that bathroom talking to you about dopamine from a forest. My entire
Mhm.
body just went, "Damn,
Yep.
okay, that feels like a relief." It feels alien because it's not the set point of my nervous system, even, after many, many moons of working on it. Like, I'm still ratcheting down from
Yeah.
like connection with the kind of chaos, but it just feels, I don't know, it feels like to me, it feels like a gift that, like, working on your SEO or working on my SEO whenever that was, like 6 months ago, has been a gift to me, especially the second half of the year, because the second half of the year has been even more shit show than the first.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know, giving I always think about this, like, from a meal prep perspective. Like, I prep
Yeah.
meals on Sunday night every week because
Mhm.
if I don't, I will end up just either not eating or eating not great food. I know this
Yeah.
about myself. So Sunday night, Kylie gifts Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Kylie, the gift of nutritious food. It's kind of the
Yeah.
same with SEO. It's supplements or your business supplement. I want to come back to podcast and blog SEO because
Mhm.
I definitely did not have that on my radar, and also image SEO, but maybe starting with the
Yeah.
podcast because I feel like a lot of people that listen to this podcast also have their own podcast. So can you talk to
Mhm.
that? Because it's not something that was in my like awareness, I don't think, before
Yeah.
well, I know that episode specific SEO definitely was not in my awareness. It's like,
Right.
you could do that.
Right, because you can like, I'll kind of touch on all of them, but for the
Yeah.
podcast, you can optimize the show itself, the
Mhm.
title, the description, the cover art, image title, like all these different little bits. But
Mhm.
you can also do it for each episode. Again, the title, the description, there's keywords, there's the cover art. You've got all these different things.
Yes.
And I don't want that to sound overwhelming. I want it to sound like these are all the opportunities.
Yes.
And even thinking about blogs, if you have them existing or if you're thinking about doing them in the future,
Mhm.
images. We all have lots of images
Yeah.
on all of the
Yes,
things.
we do.
It doesn't have to be overwhelming. That's
Yeah.
where we all go, is where have I messed up? That's where our brain automatically goes.
Yes.
But again, we can give ourselves the gift of, from this moment forward, I'm aware of
Yeah.
this. What do I need to do? Okay, these are my steps moving forward.
Yeah.
You can do that, and it can be enough. If you never touch the blog post that you have done, doing stuff moving forward will be enough. So
Yes. Yeah.
know that.
That is our
But
current strategy because I have
that
to
is
be
our
honest. 200
yeah,
podcasts and about 300 blog posts. I just, that a whole concept of either doing that or paying someone to do it. I'm like, oh my God. But
it's
what
a
we have
lot.
decided is from when I worked with you forward,
Mhm.
we have been doing it as a matter of our process. So
Yeah,
that eventually we'll get back to those ones. But,
and that's okay. How has that felt though? I'm curious. I'm turning the tables on you. How has it felt to like start adding it in?
it does have no impact on me because it's just part of the process my team does. So
Yeah.
feels good to me. And it is a very small part of the process, right? It's just part of our
Mhm.
system now that, like, so for this one, I will, straight after this podcast episode, we'll find, the quotes that we use and do some show notes and then think about, okay, what do I, want to call the episode, what I want to, so
Mhm.
all of the things that kind of inform how easy it is to find it. I also have to share with you just recently, like, you were part of a program that I did and you gave me a testimonial. And I was
Yeah.
having a giggle because I was doing the sales page for that
Mhm.
program as the evergreen. And yours was the only image that was actually labeled. Everyone else's was like JPEG
Mhm.
12598. And I'm like,
Right? Because you want to be able to give those people some kind of a shout out. And if they
yes.
have their images, their headshot images titled properly, it's
Okay.
baked in.
Yes.
If it read headshot 42 is not going to help anyone at
Mm.
all.
All
That's
of
so
mine are like
funny.
KP1 plus half of KP. What, this is not normal. No one
But
else knows
those
who
are
KP is.
yeah, I mean, they may, but it makes it so much easier
Yeah.
when it's already done. So,
Yeah.
like, that could be an invitation, right? Like, if you're a podcast guest or a podcast host, go retitle your headshots
Yes.
and just put like your name for the love of everything, use dashes. So mine is like Brittany Herzberg SEO strategist, for example. I
Mhm.
can have strategist and coach on another image. I can
Right.
have podcast SEO strategy, right? Like I can get nitty gritty. And that's not just a me thing. That's not just because Brittany is special. Kylie
Yes.
has all these different things and you have all these
Yes.
different things. So, I mean, that's like a plate, that's a starting point of
Yeah.
where you can have some asset, some piece of content go out and market for you.
Hmm. Can I ask you? I know when I was going through your program, there's someone that was asking about, and I wasn't at the stage yet, so I don't remember your response. But if someone's
Mhm.
listening and they're like, if you're saying to me, ideally you would optimize images and, eventually retrospectively, if there's space for that.
Mhm.
Does that mean that I have to download everything, rename, and then upload, or can I be changing the name? Okay, I guess it depends on your
Oh, right.
website system. Hey.
It depends on where these images are going to go. So if it's an image
Yes.
that, for example, is going to go in an Instagram post, you would want to do that just as you're doing each post. If it's a YouTube video file, you can change the file name, but I believe you need to have the file name before you pull the file in. So
Yes.
that would be something to look
Yes.
at. I think you could
Yeah.
have the space holder is there. Maybe it's a video you did 2 years ago. I think you
Yeah.
could like re-upload the video
Yeah.
with a proper
I
title.
think if it's HTML, you could do that quite easily.
So that may be something to explore. That's not my
Yeah.
expertise, but just speaking in broad-ish terms about like the different types
Mm.
of content, you ideally, in an ideal world, you would have the title done before you pull it into like a blog post or
Yes.
a podcast episode or that kind of thing. But yes, when you are going to update things, you want to have that image on your desktop or laptop or whatever, retitle it
Rename
there,
it.
and then pull it back into a blog
Yeah.
post or back into a web page or back into a podcast episode. So it is a little bit of a pain in the tush, which is
Hmm.
why so many people put it off. But think of it this way, if you have products, whether they're digital or actual physical products,
Hmm.
if you are a photographer, your
Yes.
images are major.
Your
And then,
business cards, literally.
yeah, so it makes a really big impact. There's a home organizer that I work with, and they have portfolio pieces that they will pump out once a quarter. And
Yes.
there are anywhere from 150 to 200 photos that are going to go in a
Whoa.
blog post. And I am adamant that we retitle them.
Yeah.
So it's gotten to the point where I'm like, I got this. I can retitle them. I'll come up with
Yeah.
the names. I'll go and just give me the Google folder, and they do
Yes.
that, and then I'm able to retitle
Yeah,
everything
yeah. I'm
because
just
it's that
feeling
important.
yeah, it's, of where my mind goes is, like, when I just said before, like 200 this and 300 this and whatever.
Yeah.
But the reality is I could spend all of that time putting out social media posts that last 1 to 2 days. And on
Mhm.
TikTok, I think the actual average life of something is like 3 seconds. Like, it's ridiculously small.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so you could be churning and burning all this energy and the high
Mhm.
of like, "Oh, look, I'm on TikTok and I'm doing this and I'm doing that." But is it actually making a difference to your bottom line in business and how supported you feel revenue-wise and soulmate client-wise? Because I think the other thing that is the gift of SEO is, like, I talk all the time about copywriting being specific enough that you're not inviting ill-fitting clients in. But
Yep.
SEO is like another layer of that. It's like
Mhm.
you can get very, very clear because I think to me, one of the big things with people being unclear is that you give yourself evidence that you're not working with ideal clients. And so, therefore, your business is not
Yeah.
as sustainable or as pleasant or whatever. And I'm like, I am so clear on who I work with. I literally am like, I will actively repel anyone that is
Yeah.
not that. And that's such a difference to so many people. Like, if you think about from a visibility perspective, that fear of being seen or judged or whatever, so many of my clients are like playing the good girl or the people pleaser in the marketing. And I'm like, fucking stop that. Like,
Yeah.
literally stop that. Because what you are saying is, I am a permeable membrane and anyone who wants to work with me of any description can come into my world. And I'm like, no, because A,
Mhm.
you're not suited to help every single person. B, not every single person is actually the right like fit with your boundaries and whatever. So if you're listening to this and you're like, I've got clients that I don't know, are high maintenance or they're expecting more than what I'm willing to give, or they're in any way feeling uncomfortable. And that's no disrespect to those clients. It's just a,
Mhm.
resonance or dissonance, right? Like,
Mhm.
this is one of the gifts that you can give yourself. Get
Yeah.
clear. Only speak to the people you want to call it. And it's, yeah, it's yeah, it's a very interesting. I just feel like if people understood the bat signal from an energy perspective, then they would understand how important this is. And also, instead of spending a lot of time and money on social media, maybe just funneling that into, I don't know, working on your SEO or getting an
Mhm.
audit, learning or going
Mhm.
into one of your programs. What have you got coming up? Have you got an SEO and grow coming up, or what's
Yes.
in
The
Brittany's list at the moment?
It's in my world. And really, so even like speaking of putting my own blinders on really and being like, okay, what do I really want to do? What's lighting me up?
Yes. Yeah.
Where is my energy feeling called to go?
Hmm.
The
Hmm.
SEO and Grow program. So it's my 3-month group coaching program. I
Yeah.
think it's actually kind of working its way to being more like 4 months
Mhm.
where we have some built-in integration time, which I'm loving.
Yeah.
I'm playing with that right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it feels good. It feels expansive. Everyone in there is loving it. So stay tuned. But it's, really done with you, SEO. So you're learning it, you're understanding the nuances of it. I'm there checking things and being like,
Mm.
"Yep, you got the gold star and the thumbs up, like, you're good to go."
Yes.
And it just makes you feel that much more confident with
Yeah.
things. I have clients, like I said, that are rewriting their entire website. That is not a
Yes.
requirement. They just got so jazzed that they were like, "I wanna go do this." I have
Yeah.
people refining their offer suites because, again, they're like, "Oh, that actually doesn't really light me up. Oh, this isn't really where I wanna go anymore." It's amazing, and I'm over there just like, it's not like, such a happy, like, mom on the sidelines. But
Sacred
there's that.
gnomes are very important.
Sacred knows yes. Yeah. And even how you were just talking about, like, the energetics of things, like, I have a whole podcast episode. I was scared shitless to put it out because I'm like, I'm over here talking about strategy, and I'm gonna weave in, like, the woo-woo side of things.
No,
Everyone is
weave
hearing
it.
it. It's resonating, and so that's given me just, like,
Mhm.
that much more confidence that what I have to say actually does have a place.
Yeah.
Right? But, like, sometimes you need the evidence, and just like you're saying, you have to put it out there so you can get the evidence.
Yes.
Okay, so I've got the SEO and Grow
Yes.
group coaching program. I've got Done For You SEO where I can come in and overhaul your core website pages. So those are
Mhm.
things like home, about, services, contact,
Yeah.
freebies, anything like that. I think it's currently set at like 7 pages or something, but we can
Mhm.
definitely go over that. And it's been really interesting, the people that have been coming in for that, because they are more of these like spiritual teachers, business
Yes.
energetics, And I'm like, great, I can translate that. I understand that.
Yes.
I can find
Good.
keywords for that. They don't want to touch it. They're just like, can you help? So it's really fun. So that's done for you. And then, yeah, my intro entry, whatever you want to call it, offer is the mini SEO audit where I'm looking for 3 key things. Do you have this? What's the deal? What's going on right now? And then giving you a 3-part plug and play SEO strategy for your
So
homepage.
good.
Because something I was noticing is people are like, oh, well, I'm not getting the leads that I want from Google, so I'm not going to invest in SEO. Sit down, listen, lean in, come back to this episode
Strip.
because the reason that's happening is you have an ineffective SEO strategy in there, maybe something that you thought was going to be good, or even an outdated one, or you have nothing in there. And the robots are therefore going to take a wild guess at what you do, who you help, how things, like it's just, and that, how well did that work for you, Kylie? Right? Like,
Not particularly well.
so if you take a look at like, what's the situation right now? Do I have SEO? Is it good? Is it not good? What's maybe that block that is almost more of like a physical one versus an energetic one, then we can go, oh, okay, this is the opportunity. Let's flip it around. And people are getting a spike in traffic. Some of them are getting leads from things. And we had, it was just a tiny few little changes.
Yep, 100%. And it's just so, I cannot express enough. It's so valuable because it forces you to get clear.
Mhm,
Like I think, and far more than copywriting, like you and I, like both of us have a
mhm,
background as copywriters.
mhm.
Like, yes, you have to be clear, but you can still waffle a lot if you've got a whole
Yeah.
page. Whereas that like very small character count and those 3 key questions that you just shared with us are so key. It just makes you have to get down to the like, what is the core message here? And
Mhm.
it kind of reminds me too, like I will often say to people, like, what are you selling? And they'll be like, oh, the offer, blah, blah, blah. Like
Yeah.
I've got this and I've got this. I'm like, yep, no, what are you actually selling? And they're like, oh, and like the core transformation. Like
Mhm,
what are people cannot access by themselves and that you help them unlock? And yeah, I just the language around that is so important. And I think, if you
mhm.
want to bring like the woo in, like we're talking about like words are spells.
Yeah.
So be careful what spell you're putting out there. Be
Mhm.
aware of the power of the words. Where would you suggest, like, I know you, like, your podcast is so full of like practical information. Like, is there a key like couple of episodes that you'd want people to kind of come to, or where should they actually start in your world? Because I know there's
Yeah.
all those offers, but like if people are like, there's something here I want to lean into, where can they actually, what's the breadcrumb trail?
I would say definitely check out, we talked about images, so there's a 3-part image optimization episode. You can
Yeah,
go listen to that. There's even a
amazing.
blog post, there's links and stuff like that that it walks you through
Hmm.
really what you need to do. And then there's the energetics and intention of SEO behind SEO. So that
Yeah.
episode would be another good one, especially for your group. I feel like they would get it.
Yeah.
They would understand.
We speak with.
And then yeah, we see. And then any of the Q&A episodes could be really helpful for people. I did a recent live coaching episode,
Yeah.
so live coaching Q&A, go there because then you'll see that other people have similar questions to you.
Yeah.
Those are fan favorites. Like anything where it's like an actual person is asking questions and they're
Yes.
like, oh, I'm not alone. Oh, here's
You want to be SEO dunce in the world.
not at all. And if you have questions, I truly do live in my Instagram DMs. And then also on my podcast, there's a link at the very top of every episode where you can text me. That's a way that you can do it anonymously. So if you're like, I have a question, but I don't want to look like an idiot. First of all, there are no dumb questions. And I will tell you that until the cows come home. Like
Yeah,
I'm
me
going to
too.
repeat. That's probably going to be on my gravestone. There's no dumb question. Yeah, never mind. We'll see. So there's no dumb questions. But if you want to have a chat, come to Instagram. If you want to ask it anonymously, you can do that in the text in the podcast episode.
So we will put
Yeah.
all those links in the show notes.
Mm-hmm.
It has been a joy I'm sorry I was a little bit off job. I
Cool.
we have hit giggle or go insane season in Kylie's life. I love you. I love your work in the world, and I'm super
Thank
honored
you.
for you to be here. So thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And I just want to encourage everyone listening in, if you have had any of those like dodgy little kind of, not dodgy, that sounds like I'm shaming you. If you have believed like me that SEO might
Mhm.
be a little bit like old school or a bit boring or a bit too hard bus, a bit too technical or whatever, I hope this chat has really like opened up your eyeballs a little bit to the fact that it can be like simple when someone like Brittany is teaching you. And it can be something that you can do, and it is a gift to your future self. So thank you for joining me.
Thank you. Thanks so much. And for being here.
Thanks for tuning in to another episode. If this episode lit a fire in your body, in your business, deep down in your bones, please take a moment to drop a rating and review so more rebels just like you can find us. And don't keep this goodness to yourself. Share it with your disruptive rebel and revolutionary friends who are ready to roar right alongside of you. Until next time, stay wild, stay unapologetic, and stay fucking free.